Reading through the Bible in a year, June 10th, Deuteronomy 15, Psalm 102, Isaiah 42, and Revelation chapter 12. At the end of every 7 years, you shall grant a remission of debts. This is the manner of remission. Every creditor shall release what he has loaned to his neighbor. He shall not exact it of his neighbor and his brother, because Yahweh's remission has been proclaimed. From a foreigner you may exact it, but your hand shall release whatever of yours is with your brother. However, there will be no poor among you, since Yahweh will surely bless you in the land which Yahweh your God is giving you as an inheritance to possess. If only you listen obediently to the voice of Yahweh your God, to observe carefully all this commandment which I am commanding you today. For Yahweh your God will bless you, as he has promised you, and you will lend to many nations, but you will not borrow. And you will rule over many nations, but they will not rule over you. If there is a poor man with you, one of your brothers, in any of your towns in the land which Yahweh your God is giving you, you shall not harden your heart, nor close your hand from your poor brother, but you shall freely open your hand to him, and shall generously lend him, sufficient for all his need and whatever he lacks. Beware that there is no base thought in your heart, saying, the 70th year, the 7th year, the year of remission, is near. And your eye is hostile toward your poor brother, and you give him nothing. Then he may cry to Yahweh against you, and it will be a sin to you. You shall generously give to him, and your heart shall not be grieved when you give to him, because for this thing Yahweh your God will bless you in all your work and in all your undertakings. For the poor will never cease to be in your land. Therefore I command you, saying, you shall freely open your hand to your brother, to your needy and poor in your land. If your kinsman, a Hebrew man or woman, is sold to you, then he shall serve you 6 years, but in the 7th year you shall set him free. When you set him free, you shall not send him away empty-handed. You shall furnish him liberally from your flock, and from your threshing floor, and from your wine vat. You shall give to him as Yahweh your God has blessed you. You shall remember that you were a slave in the land of Egypt, and Yahweh your God redeemed you. Therefore I command you this today. It shall come about that if he says to you, I will not go out from you, because he loves you and your household, since he fares well with you, then you shall take an awl and pierce it through his ear into the door, and he shall be your servant forever. You shall also do likewise to your maidservant. It shall not seem hard to you when you set him free, for he has given you 6 years with double the service of a hired man. So Yahweh your God will bless you in whatever you do. You shall consecrate to Yahweh your God all the firstborn males that are born of your herd and of your flock. You shall not work with the firstborn of your herd, nor shear the firstborn of your flock. You and your household shall eat it every year before Yahweh your God in the place which Yahweh chooses. But if any has a defect, such as lameness or blindness, or any such defect, you shall not sacrifice it to Yahweh your God. You shall eat it within your gates. The unclean and the clean alike may eat of it, as a gazelle or a deer. Only you shall not eat its blood. You are to pour it on the ground like water. Now Psalm 102. Hear my prayer, O Yahweh, and let my cry for help come to you. Do not hide your face from me in the day of my distress. Incline your ear to me. In the day when I call, answer me quickly. For my days have been consumed in smoke, and my bones have been scorched like a hearth. My heart has been smitten like grass and is withered away. Indeed, I forget to eat my bread. Because of the loudness of my groaning, my bones cling to my flesh. I resemble a pelican in the wilderness. I have become like an owl of the waste places. I lie awake. I have become like a lonely bird on a housetop. My enemies have reproached me all day long. Those who deride me have used my name as a curse, for I have eaten ashes like bread and mingled my drink with weeping, because of your indignation and your wrath, for you have lifted me up and cast me away. My days are like a lengthened shadow, and I wither away like grass. But you, O Yahweh, abide forever, and your name to all generations. You will arise and have compassion on Zion, for it is time to be gracious to her, for the appointed time has come. Surely your servants find pleasure in her stones and feel pity for her dust. So the nations will fear the name of Yahweh, and all the kings of the earth your glory. For Yahweh has built up Zion. He has appeared in glory, and he has regarded the prayer of the destitute, and has not despised their prayer. This will be written for generations, for the generation to come, that a people yet to be created may praise Yahweh. For he looked down from his holy height. From heaven Yahweh gazed upon the earth, to hear the groaning of a prisoner, or of the prisoner, to set free those who were doomed to death, that men may tell of the name of Yahweh in Zion, and his praise in Jerusalem. When the peoples are gathered together, and the kingdoms to serve Yahweh. He has weakened my strength in the way. He has shortened my days. I say, O my God, do not take me away in the midst of my days. Your years are throughout all generations. Of old you founded the earth, and the heavens are the work of your hands. Even they will perish, but you endure. And all of them will wear out like a garment. Like clothing, you will change them, and they will be changed. But you are the same, and your years will not come to an end. The children of your servants will come, and their descendants will be established before you. Bringing up the rest of the notes here for you. And there we go. Moving on now to Isaiah 42. Behold, my servant whom I uphold, my chosen one in whom my soul delights. I have put my spirit upon him. Again, strongly recommend you pause and read all of the notes. There are a ton here. Continuing on. I have put my spirit upon him. He will bring forth justice to the nations. He will not cry out or raise his voice, nor will he make his voice heard in the street. A bruised reed he will not break, and a dimly burning wick. Make sure we're not losing our notes here. Nope, good. Continuing on. And a dimly burning wick he will not extinguish. He will faithfully bring forth justice. Clearly, he's talking about the Christ. He will not be disheartened or crushed until he has established justice in the earth, and the coastlands will wait expectantly for his law. Thus says God, Yahweh, who created the heavens and stretched them out, who spread out the earth and its offspring, who gives breath to the people on it, and strength, in spirit to those who walk in it. I am Yahweh. I have called you in righteousness. I will also hold you by the hand and watch over you. And I will appoint you as a covenant to the people, as a light to the nations, to blind the eyes, to bring out prisoners from the dungeon, and those who dwell in darkness from prison, or from the prison. I am Yahweh, and that is my name. I will not give my glory to another, nor my praise to graven images. Behold, the former things have come to pass. Now I declare new things. Before they spring forth, I proclaim them to you. Sing to Yahweh a new song. Sing his praise from the end of the earth. You who go down to the sea and all that is in it, you islands and those who dwell on them. Let the wilderness and its cities lift up their voices, the settlements where Kedar inhabits. Let the inhabitants of Selah sing aloud. Let them shout for joy from the tops of the mountains. Let them give glory to Yahweh and declare his praise in the coastlands. Yahweh will go forth like a warrior. He will arouse his zeal like a man of war. He will utter a shout. Yes, he will raise a war cry. He will prevail against his enemies. I have kept silent for a long time. I have kept still and restrained myself. Now, like a woman in labor, I will groan. I will both gasp and pant. I will lay waste the mountains and hills and wither all the vegetation. I will make the rivers into coastlands and dry up the ponds. I will lead the blind by a way they do not know. In paths they do not know, I will guide them. I will make darkness into light before them, and rugged places into plains. These are the things I will do, and I will not leave them undone. And they will be turned back, and be utterly put to shame, who trust in idols, who say to molten images, "You are our gods." Hear, you deaf, and look, you blind, that you may see. Who is blind but my servant, or so deaf as my messenger whom I send? Who is so blind as he that is at peace with me? Or so blind as the servant of Yahweh? You have seen many things, but you do not observe them. Your ears are open, but none hears. Yahweh was pleased for his righteousness' sake to make the law great and glorious. But this is a people plundered and despoiled. All of them are trapped in caves or are hidden away in prisons. They have become a prey with none to deliver them, and a spoil with none to say, "Give them back." Who among you will give ear to this? Who will give heed and listen hereafter? Who gave up Jacob for spoil and Israel to plunderers? Was it not Yahweh against whom we have sinned, and in whose ways they were not willing to walk, and whose law they did not obey? So he poured out on him the heat of his anger and the fierceness of battle, and it set him aflame all around. Yet he did not recognize it, and it burned him, but he paid no attention. Including today in Revelation chapter 12. A great sign appeared in heaven. I'm going to pause right here. There's a lot of we've had some things so far that have been very symbolic. This is peak symbolism. Again, strongly recommend that you pause and read through all the notes in this section. It'll help make sense of it. Back to verse 1. A great sign appeared in heaven, a woman clothed with the sun and the moon under her feet, and on her head a crown of 12 stars. And she was with child, and she cried out, being in labor and in pain to give birth. Then another sign appeared in heaven. And behold, a great red dragon, having 7 heads and 10 horns, and on his heads were 7 diadems, or crowns. And his tail swept away a third of the stars of heaven, and threw them to the earth. And the dragon stood before the woman who was about to give birth, so that when she gave birth, he might devour her child. She gave birth to a son, a male child, who was to rule all the nations with a rod of iron, and her child was caught up to God and to his throne. Then the woman fled into the wilderness, where she had a place prepared by God, so that she would be nourished for 1,260 days. Again, strongly recommend you pause and read through the notes. They will help. Verse 7, and there was war in heaven, Michael and his angels waging war with the dragon. The dragon and his angels waged war, and they were not strong enough, and there was no longer a place found for them in heaven. And the great dragon was thrown down, the serpent of old, who is called the devil and Satan, who deceives the whole world. He was thrown down to the earth, and his angels were thrown down with him. Then I heard a voice in heaven saying, "Now the salvation and the power and the kingdom of our God and the authority of his Christ have come. For the accuser of our brethren has been thrown down, he who accuses them before our God day and night. And they overcame him because of the blood of the Lamb." Pausing for a second here. Are we supposed to go through 2 chapters or just that? Oh, it's 2 chapters. Sorry, it's 1 chapter in a verse. It's weird the way that it handles it. I'll speak on that in a moment here. Going back to the text, verse 11. And they overcame him because of the blood of the Lamb and because of the word of their testimony. And they did not love their life even when they faced death, or even when faced with death. For this reason, rejoice, O heavens, and you who dwell in them. Woe to the earth and the sea, because the devil has come down to you, having great wrath, knowing that he has only a short time. And when the dragon saw that he was thrown down to the earth, he persecuted the woman who gave birth to the male child. The 2 wings of the great eagle were given to the woman, so that she could fly into the wilderness to her place, where she was nourished for a time and times and half a time from the presence of the serpent. And the serpent poured water like a river out of his mouth after the woman, so that he might cause her to be swept away with the flood. But the earth helped the woman, and the earth opened its mouth and drank up the river which the dragon had poured out of his mouth. So the dragon was enraged at the woman, or with the woman, and went off to make war with the rest of her children who keep the commandments of God and hold to the testimony of Jesus. And the dragon stood on the sand of the seashore. Then I saw a beast coming up out of the sea, having 10 horns and 7 heads, and on his horns were 10 diadems or crowns, and on his heads were blasphemous names. Now, that's the end of this section of text here. I'm going to briefly talk about this. So remember that the chapter numbers and verses and so forth were not created until, I believe, I always get it wrong. I want to say the 1200s, but I think it's more recent than even that. They are not inspired. They're just numbers associated to make sense of the text. In fact, as we continue reading through the Bible, we're going to come across this a few times where we're going to see that the numbers and the text itself don't exactly align with the things that we're reading. Now, the story about the dragon and the beast which he brings with him, that picks up tomorrow. But here, this concludes some of the information we've read from the day before, rather the chapter before, and it also blends into the stuff coming up next. So for that reason, and this version of the McShane reading plan has chosen to incorporate verse 1 of chapter 13 with the previous reading. Normally, I incorporate it with the one coming after. That said, that's it. That's all the reading and all of the notes for today. God willing, we'll be back tomorrow. Behold, the word of the Lord.